Hey guys, Dr. Caleb here. Just wanted to pop in real quick and just apologize for the late upload on this one. We had a terrible audio issue that I did my best to edit out and um, just make this a more listenable experience because the rough draft of this episode was completely unlistenable. Um, but yeah, I cleaned it up the best I could, and it just took a lot of extra time. And I was super busy with other projects I was working on, and just life stuff in general. Being a doctor at the SCP Foundation does tend to eat into a lot of my free time. But with that being said, I hope you enjoy the episode. And as an apology, we're going to be uploading another episode shortly after this in a couple days just to get us back on track and get us back on schedule. So look forward to that, and yeah, should be a good time. Thank you. Hello, fellow scholars and purveyors of morbid curiosities alike. I'm Dr. Caleb, joined by the Father, the Ghost, and the Holy Spirit, Dr. Zach. And this is SCPod. Zach, how are you today?
I'm alive, I think. Did we just take a month off?
You know, Zach, the time loop thing was last season.
Sure.
Time anomalies aside, even if we did take a break, the audience will never know because there's not going to be a break in my editing and uploading.
Sure.
Zach, I do want to take this time before we get into the article to just sit you down here. We're seated, and just hold your hands like this and just say, "Happy birthday, Zach."
You're about a month late, but thanks.
Oh man, I've been waiting 6 years to finally get you back for all the happy birthday.
Don't you mean 3?
No, we've been doing this show for 8 years. The happy birthday bit started about 2 years in.
I could have sworn we'd been doing it for 10, but sure, go off, Queen.
There's enough lost episodes to make a whole other podcast. It's actually what the Vulcan gets his content from.
Yeah, and if you find one circulating around the internet, send it to us, and make sure you clearly label the return address. We just want to talk to you.
Oh man. Well, Zach, we have our last big article before the Gate Guardian. Should we just tear this puppy open? Maybe not tear this puppy open, but tear this on manila envelope open.
Yeah, given how this usually goes, torn puppies may not be outside the realm of possibility. But I'll lead us.
I don't think anything is outside the realm of possibility when it comes to SCPs.
Especially this one, because it's getting all biblical on us. SCP-616. Object Class, Keter. Special Containment Procedures. SCP is to be kept in a redacted site. While grounded, repair personnel of a clearance of 2 or above are allowed to enter the craft and must conduct thorough pre-flight inspections to ascertain that SCP-616 is ready for flight. However, repair personnel are to maintain a distance of at least 3 meters from 616-1. On flight days, only ordained and believing ministers of an Abrahamic faith with security clearance of level 4 or above may enter the aircraft and must remain within 3 feet and 1 inch from the threshold of SCP-616-1 at all times whilst the aircraft is grounded. Dash 1 should be kept from closing at all costs once activated. This necessitates a monthly manned flight. Failure to keep Dash 1 from closing will require initiation of Procedure 600-Shoki. Each flight, 7 archbishops, ordained and believing in an Abrahamic faith, must surround Dash 1. Prayer directed at SCP-616-1 must be sustained during the whole duration of the flight, usually 3 to 7 hours. Prayer must be sustained by all able subjects, but once -1 has been activated, previously established distance restrictions no longer apply. Subjects are in fact encouraged to try to physically stop 616 from closing. 616-1 from closing, though extreme caution must be taken to keep any personnel from falling through the threshold, as that will likely result in
data expunged.
In addition, one Foundation agent trained in flying commercial aircraft is to pilot SCP-616 through a pre-designed flight path, and must be able to maintain radio contact and information of events in SCP-616. Under no circumstances is the pilot cleared to approach -1 once the flight has begun. All personnel should be supplied with any religious paraphernalia they request before flight time. No extraneous personnel are to be present during the flight for any reason, as they will likely be killed by 616's activation, and provide corpses for reanimation, or
data expunged.
The Roman Catholic Pope, or similar Abrahamic figure, must bless the aircraft in accordance with the appropriate religious ceremony once per full year. The official must report to the Foundation and arrive physically at the containment site at least 3 days prior to the year elapsing. Failure to do so may result in the door opening, resulting in
data expunged.
In any unlikely event that any official misses the ceremony, a substitute of equal rank must be on hand to replace him or her. Furthermore, 2 nuclear devices combined with a combined yield of several megatons are to be armed inside the aircraft at all times, in the event of an XK-class end-of-the-world scenario, or if the door closes during flight, resulting in
data expunged. Data expunged.
Or transfers of hostile beings in large numbers. These devices are to be detonated if procedure 600 Shoki cannot be enacted. Those with clearance of 4 or higher, please see document SCP-616 CP3.
The fuck are we doing here? That is a crazy special containment procedure.
Hey, if it don't work out, just nuke the son of a bitch. I feel like that's always kind of just like a fallback plan in general, but we digress.
Description: SCP-616 is a prototype Boeing designed and constructed on June 16th, 1966, to specifications. Though superficially similar to the Boeing 737, which went into service shortly afterwards, SCP-616 model has various internal alterations, including
data expunged.
Despite the various alterations, the most important feature of SCP-616 is the center left emergency door, which has been dubbed SCP-616-1. -1 is a standard emergency door, though partially covered in extensive markings associated with satanic cults adhering to Redacted. -1 can be opened without major incident when grounded, and leads to the outside of the aircraft as expected. However, this is discouraged as nearly all personnel opening and or passing through the door have reported severe anxiety problems and a persistent feeling of being watched. Long-term observation or exposure to SCP-616 is not recommended. Observation using any sort of electronic device is satisfactory while 616 is grounded, though some visual anomalies have been recorded, including
data expunged.
As such, it is advised that personnel known to have a high tolerance to disturbing imagery be assigned to observation duty, and work no longer than three consecutive days. All personnel involved in the repairs, observation, operation, or flight of SCP-616 must submit to psychological evaluations after each period of exposure. 616-1 will autonomously open once every 30 days and begin to close. This event can be considered the activation of 616-1. The speed at which 616-1 closes is highly dependent on the altitude, velocity, and
data expunged.
It should be timed so that 616-1 opens in mid-flight at an altitude of approximately 10,972 meters and a speed of about 780 kilometers per hour. Failure to properly time this event is catastrophic, since 616-1 closing fully while grounded could affect all life forms within an unknown radius, causing potentially hundreds of
Data expunged.
posing severe threats to population centers and requiring immediate use of Procedure 600 Shokai. Please see document SCP-616-DE2 for further information on
Data expunged.
and effective means of termination. Once 616-1 spontaneously opens, cabin pressure will destabilize as expected, and extreme turbulence is encountered. At various points during the flight, all present personnel may feel as if SCP-616 is quickly falling, though it has been ascertained that 616 remains in relatively stable cruising conditions during all times, including during the times of these events. Dash 1's opening may cause certain individuals present to suffer fatal heart attacks or
Data expunged.
corpses with an undamaged larynx present within 616 once Dash 1 activates seemingly reanimate for the duration of the flight. The corpses remain largely immobile, and as such pose no physical threat, but are capable of speech. These speaking corpses should be terminated if possible, as their speech poses potential psychological dangers, as well as enable Dash 1's closing via
Data expunged.
the language spoken by these reanimated corpses remains unidentified.
Addendum -01. The airliner series never went into service, as the various anomalous events surrounding 616's test flights were reported as various design failures. All plans and blueprints have been seized by the Foundation. It is now believed that the designers' designs were entirely intentional and done under no external compulsion. Recovered documents from the construction process describe
Data expunged.
Addendum 616-2. On an unknown day, a remote-controlled rover obtained footage from within 616-1. All personnel who viewed the footage directly committed suicide by various means within a 2-month period. A security tape of the video with the recording playing did not cause any death, despite containing full sound and color recordings of the footage. It displayed a video of a small child violently being
Data expunged.
within a dark red room. All further attempts to observe past the event horizon have yielded similar results, and such expeditions are no longer permitted.
And then there is an addendum -03, which contains the interview of 2 subjects. One of them is the ordained minister as part of those flights. If you're interested, you can go to the article and read it. As always, it'll be located in the show notes, but they're just a little too lengthy for us to contain here. Interview 616 AM, which just describe some of the things that are taking place on the plane. Notably, one of the ordained ministers describes one of those instances of a corpse being possessed, as well as visions of hellfire coming in from the door.
Crazy stuff. And then finally, document SCP-616-CP3 with the note of clearance level 4 or higher required. This is just in the article, so I don't know who's actually checking this, but, who knows. I'm only clearance level 2, and I can see this, so... Though the current containment procedures specify the necessity of Abrahamic faith and prayer to keep 616-1 from closing, this necessity is in fact fabricated. After various interviews with redacted, a single test run, and data expunged, it was determined that the belief in one's ability to keep 616-1 open was ultimately the critical component to being able to accomplish the deed. However, it seems individuals in possession of this fact fare worse than individuals who are not keeping 616-1 open. Whether this is due to properties of 616-1 or human psychology is unknown. In regards to this problem, a Foundation doctor suggested using religion as an abundant and efficient way to harness belief. The current satanic markings were in fact added by the Foundation. The requirement of an Abrahamic leader's blessing, as well as using ordained Abrahamic preachers for the act itself are all for the benefit of maintaining morale and reinforcing belief. This method has proved successful, as each flight since the first has had fewer casualties and a shorter duration.
So we just added, like, pentagrams to the side of this fucking plane just to waste the Pope's time?
I love the idea of like the Foundation's like, hey, Pope man, yeah, it's happening again. Can you come here? And it says, what is it? The official must report to the Foundation.
How much of that just like a power move? Like, yeah, no, me and Leo, we go back a ways. I just have his number here. I see him about once a year. Don't worry about what it's about.
Do you think he arrives in the Pope Mobile?
Like, you think that would be, like, more noticeable. Like, oh, yeah, where's the Pope going? You don't even know that.
I mean, maybe it is, but, like, do you know what the Pope's... I mean, the current Pope is, like, very much in the news at all times, but, like, the last Pope, I feel like I never heard about.
Oh.
Other than, like, fucking Matt Pat giving him a copy of Undertale.
That's great. Pope Francis was in the news quite a bit, especially in the election cycle for the United States, just because our vice president is Catholic, though that's debatable. And more importantly, Pope Francis apparently did not like him very much.
Well, yeah, he died shortly after J.D. Vance visited him.
Which surely he had nothing to do with. Surely, no one is suggesting that J.D. Vance had anything to do with the death of Pope Francis. No one is.
Nobody is suggesting that J.D. Vance data expunged.
No one is making the allegation that J.D. Vance data expunged Pope Francis.
It was J.D. Vance with data expunged in the data expunged room
with Pope Francis.
Oh, it's gonna be a fucking mess to edit.
That's fun. I like that joke. I like that joke a lot. Off the top, I just want to say that whoever is expunging the data for these articles needs to lay the fuck off. Both in terms of a readability, but also in terms of, like, if this document is meant to be instructive to how to keep something locked up and why you should want to keep it locked up, this article isn't doing a great job of it.
I feel like okay, like, realistically, description-wise, I could understand expunging a bunch of data from that. But, like, when you're talking about, like, the special containment procedures, the actual SCP of this article, like, if you're trying to keep this thing contained, you shouldn't be expunging anything. Maybe add, like, an addendum, kind of like this one does, about, like, oh, the fucking pentagrams are fake. They're just drawn in lipstick. But, like, if the goal of this article is to keep this thing contained, we should have all the information in order to contain it.
Right. And it just makes it more than a little confusing.
Yeah.
And then trying to figure out, like, specifically with 616, like, what the actual incident was. Because, like, there is the video of whatever is happening to that kid. Like, more than a lot of other recent articles we've done, this one has me rescanning the thing we just read, trying to figure out what the hell we're even talking about.
Yeah. So to kind of boil it down, we have a plane. This plane has an emergency exit door that seemingly wants to open, ? On its own. And we are trying to keep it shut. Or is it the other way around, where we're trying to keep it open, but it wants to shut?
I think we are trying to keep it from closing once it's opened.
Okay.
Because, yeah, I'm looking over one of those.
So
I'm looking over one of the interview logs, and it says that they're all trying to stop it from closing.
Okay.
It kind of reminds me of like a little bit of like Event Horizon, where like there is like an actual door to hell in play. But it's
that's kind of what I'm seeing is like this is like some. I mean, obviously the satanic stuff is made up to keep like the faith strong and whatnot, but like realistically, like this is definitely some sort of portal that's being opened on the plane, right?
yeah, and it's like I would say like there's like sure there's stuff we added, but one of the survivors has described actually feeling the flames of and the heat and the sulfur of hell from the door,
Right.
and so how much of that is like them believing something that they want to believe or are disposed to believe in already, or is the door actually conjuring up these things?
Right. It's really interesting. I don't want to get into spoilers for it or anything, but in the newest season of Invincible, they actually tackle with this kind of idea of hell being a made-up construct that we just associate because of the mythology of like the Christian belief and whatnot, where it's just like the version of hell in Invincible is like just like the center of the planet or whatnot.
Right.
So, but anyway, that is to say, like, this could just be like a fucking red room incident, like some, or even just like a portal to a different dimension. That's not out of the realm of possibility when it comes to SCPs, where fucking somebody gets off on torturing someone, or I mean, we don't even know what's happening to the little kid that we saw, because it was expunged. It could be a Montauk scenario.
I was just thinking about that. Like they just take him into the back room and read him a story.
Yeah. It could just like they could be just this kid's just chilling in the back rooms and like playing with Play-Doh.
Yeah.
And maybe he made a dick with the Play-Doh, and that's what scarred the people.
That's what scarred the people. We were all scarred by penis at least once in our lives. And again, like we don't even know necessarily what the door does or what the actual threat here because they've expunged all of it. But apparently we're supposed to believe that it is worth sticking two nuclear devices on the plane in case it goes weird.
I mean, okay, that brings up an interesting question, right?
Uh-huh.
Why don't we just neutralize this? Like, seemingly it is this anomalous plane that has this seemingly portal to a different dimension that is contained within the emergency exit of this plane.
Right.
If we just destroy the plane,
right. I mean,
what are we afraid of? That the portal's gonna end up somewhere else?
I mean, there's always the threat of like you don't know what destroying it will do, or if like it'll make a bajillion. Like if you like the door is the thing that causes the problem, right? As far as we know.
Right.
If you break the door in two, do you now have two problems? And I could see that being a thing.
That's fair.
But also, like, if you're going to the extent of strapping two nukes to this thing, why aren't we doing it to other things? Like, I feel like we have a good number of world-ending devices and ideas and hazards, let's call it like in the blanket term, in the Foundation. Why are we doing it? Why do we have two nukes tied to this thing but not half the other things we've talked about on this show?
You're right. We should strap a nuke to the dragon snails.
We should strap a nuke to the coffee machine. It's the only way to be sure.
We should strap a nuke to the bears.
It's the only way to be sure. But I don't know. I mean, this article raises more questions with its expungements than it does with every other part of it. Like, including the
Yeah,
part,
there's...
including the part
Sorry, go
where
ahead.
the entire religious aspect is not necessarily true. Which, if we kind of contextualize it in the broader scope of like how does this tie back to the Gate Guardian, raises a lot more questions of like, then why is this here?
Well, okay. Part of me thinks I wanted to get to the Gate Guardian tie-in because I think this is actually the simplest Gate Guardian tie-in, in that like whatever this portal is whatever the gate like the door to wherever the Gate Guardian is, also like the Garden of Eden or whatever we're going to get to. I think that is like a simplistic tie-in. You know, there's obviously room for interpretation, but like the things that the data expunging really does is like it makes it really hard to. There's a bunch of like red dots on this wall, and with the data expunge you can't really like tie the red thread between them all. It's like okay, there's a plane. The plane has an emergency door. Okay, cool. You have this persistent feeling of being watched, blah, blah, blah. And then it autonomously opens every 30 days, begins to close. And then seemingly also, the opening can cause individuals to suffer fatal heart attacks. Okay. And then it also randomly creates Michael Jackson zombies.
Right.
And there's no through line because all the data expunging.
Right, and like I see that now in one of the interview logs where like the survivor mentioned that outside the door is paradise. But it's interesting that like they mention paradise and the actual priest mentions hell.
Right.
So kind of go back to what you're saying is like there's how do you connect those dots?
Exactly. So, yeah. Do you agree with my assessment of the tie-in to the Gate Guardian here?
I mean, I don't think it's necessarily wrong, but like, I also don't feel like we have enough things to. If it is guarding the Garden of Eden, which is what's supported by what that one lady says, it's also directly countermanded by what the next guy said.
Right.
So we do know that the Gate Guardian's there guarding something, but we have conflicting information here. If that is in fact the supposition that we want to make, that's what is over there.
I wonder, this is tied, right, to the Gate Guardian, obviously. I wonder if this is like a shortcut, right? Like whatever the Gate Guardian is defending, like obviously the whole big thing behind it is like he smites anything that like tries to go near him and try to cross into the quote unquote Garden of Eden. What if this is like the shortcut to it? What if this is like the literal like Spirit Airlines to be able to get into the Garden of Eden?
Right, like this guy at Boeing figured out how to do a in real life wrong warp to the Guardian of Eden.
And that is why Boeing had to off him.
And to be clear, it was Boeing that killed him. They killed the fuck out of him. But like,
it's not funny. It was an actual assassination that occurred.
Yeah, like much like how we're saying that JD Vance did not kill Pope Francis because that's absurd. Why you bring it up again? Boeing did kill this man.
Boeing did data expunge this man.
They did expunge his data. What happens if you step through though? Like, does the Gate Guardian turn around and be like, "Nah, you little shit," and just kill you there?
I mean, do we have anything that says like what happens if people try to go into it?
Not really. We just trying to get closed. The closest thing we have is in the interview log where a bishop falls out of it, and he just plummets to his death.
Interesting.
So, but like they're trying to keep it from closing. So, what happens when it does close?
Right. Well, it says if the door closes during flight, resulting in data expunged or data expunged. or transfers hostile beings in large numbers. So apparently, there is like an army of dudes that could seemingly happen.
There's just a whole package of bronies waiting to come into this plane. Where does God description? Where does it say that?
Second to last paragraph of special containment procedures. Furthermore, two nuclear devices
Combined with the yield of several megatons are to be armed inside the aircraft at all times in the event of an escape class end of the world, or if the door closes, resulting in dead expunge, or transfers of... Okay, Jesus. That's a...
So it's either we get data expunged, or we get data expunged, or a whole just fucking Mongol army.
Yeah. You get personally speared by Batu Khan.
The plane lands and like the fucking inflatable slide like comes down, and it's just like a bunch of Mongol warriors on horseback come trotting down.
There's an entire squadron of Keshiks down the tarmac. Cue John Green.
It's the fucking tower elephants.
Right. They come out every 30 seconds depending on your upgrade trees.
Yeah.
So is the transfer of hostile beings worse or better than the two data expunged?
I think it's like three completely separate things. I think it's like chemical warfare, physical warfare, and emotional warfare.
But you're only prepared for the one, and we're not telling you what the one is that's been revealed. A transfer of hostile beings could be emotional warfare.
It's your dad who went to fucking go get the milk, and he's come back cloned multiple hundreds of thousands of times.
And it's cigarettes for everybody.
Zach, how do you feel about flying?
You know, I've only flown, I think, 6 times in my life. And it's fine. I actually don't mind it too bad. The first time... No, I've flown 4 times. Because it was when I was going to basic, and then when I was coming back from basic about 12 years ago. And then it was a couple years ago when I flew to New York and then flew back from New York. And it's fine. I actually don't mind flying that much. Airports are neat. Okay.
So you're not like afraid of it.
No, like it's weird. It's like I'm not a fan of heights, but like flying doesn't bother me. I will say like I find the airport much more fascinating than the plane.
Interesting.
Like time means nothing. I created a palisade wall of my luggage and watched Chernobyl for 4 hours at JFK International Airport. Well, after having several Moscow mules at the airport bar, and that was a great time.
That does sound like a very, very good time.
But like at the same time, like they did charge me $6 for a bottle of water.
Yeah, and I'm sure those Moscow mules were double digits as well.
Oh yeah, those were like 16 a pop.
Yeah.
How many times have you flown?
I've flown a lot. I flew for the first time back in 2020 when me and friend of the podcast, Austin, we flew to New York. It was my first ever like time traveling, and I had a blast with it. It was super fun. Had a great time flying. I'm also just like an adrenaline junkie, so like even turbulence doesn't affect me that much. Like I love roller coasters and stuff like that, and it's just like, you know, I get to flirt with death a little bit. But since then I've flown a lot. Like you know, now that I'm in the greater Denver area, you know, I fly back to go visit friends and family over in Oregon and stuff like that. And you know, I every so often I'll do that. So I've flown quite a bit, and even for work, I've flown quite a bit as well. So, um, it's now just like something I do, and I don't even think twice about it. Like, I do get a little stressed out in the airport, like just because like I'm somebody that always has to be early to everything, and so like I remember exactly one time like I left to get to the airport and like traffic was much bigger than I was anticipating. And then like I had to board a shuttle bus to get from the parking lot to the airport, and that was running late, and then I had to hop on a second one because like the first one was too full, and by the time I got to TSA like my flight was boarding in 30 minutes and I was like stressed. And then I got there and like I was completely fine. But that's the only thing that's ever stressful or gives me any kind of anxiety about flying is just like getting there on time. And that's just because like the same friend that I flew with to New York, he is notorious for like getting to the airport, forgetting to check into his flight, so they're just like, hey, you can't fly. Or like things like that. And he is just so nonchalant about it that it stresses me out on his behalf.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right. I remember when I was flying to Basic, there was a layover in Dallas, Fort Worth, because I was flying to Philadelphia from Portland, and it was interesting because I had a layover, but it was like 30 minutes, and then the transfer was like on the other side of the airport, and so I had to like 20-year-old me had to cook it through Dallas Fort Worth airport to get to my plane to get yelled at for 3 months. Dallas Fort Worth Airport, the only place in the world I've ever seen a Fox News store.
Wow, that is interesting.
And may they burn in hell.
I remember one time I was flying to see my old friend back in Houston, and I was flying from Portland to Houston, and I had a layover in Vegas, and I had never been to Vegas before, so we like land, and I'm like trying to get to my gate. It was like 45 minutes between, and then I was like, there's just slot machines in the airport in Vegas, and I was like, all right, I guess I know what I'm doing to kill the time.
Did you win?
I did, but then I also lost it all.
Welcome to Vegas.
Yep. Actually, funny story. I went to Vegas back in April with my buddies, and everybody was gambling and whatnot. It was like the last night we were there, and I tried my hand at like virtual blackjack, and I lost like $40 or whatever. But then I was just like, I just took $20 and I was like, just threw it into one of the slot machines, and I turned that $20 into like 140 in like 10 minutes. And every time I like got $20, I would like cash out. I'd walk over to our friend, and I was like, Michael, I just won $20 at this slot machine. He's like, there's no way. Those things are not guaranteed to make you lose money. And I kept doing that every $20, and by the end of it, he was like, I'm gonna watch you and make sure you're not hacking this thing.
Were you?
I was not. I just like it was a Buffalo slot machine, and I guess the Buffaloes were on my side.
Blessed by the fluffy cows.
But yeah, this article is tough. This has the makings to be really, really cool. It's just the amount of information left out. It's not even like enough to like make you want to pursue finding more information. It's just like, if the Gate Guardian doesn't answer this is just kind of a dud for me, honestly.
I kind of agree with you. Like, I don't really... There's a lot of very interesting things it could have implied, but on its own, it'd be like reading any one of Tyler's articles by itself, but it doesn't reference anything else.
Right.
And so you have a cool setup, and then what?
Yeah. So, I think the concept is cool. Like,
yeah,
I like the idea of like an entity or an anomaly taking place in something completely man-made.
Oh, totally.
Because then it like asks the questions of like it's kind of like the Allosaurus, where it's like, who made this, and like, is it anomalous because of who made it, or things like that.
Yeah,
So
that's a good callback. I feel like it kind of shoots itself.
how is there an end of the world scenario attached to this?
I don't know if it's
Like,
I don't know if it's a case of like there's an end of the world attached to this, or if there is another thing separate from this thing that causes a world-ending event.
Oh, okay, wait. I'm reading this again, and it's like, if there's a end of the world scenario, or if the door closes, like, just fucking nuke it.
Right, but again, what happens when the door closes?
The Mongols attack.
The Mongols. This plane's door closing is the only hope Mongolia ever has of being national or internationally relevant again. We can rebuild the Pax Mongolica. Close the door. But yeah,
If the door closes, the Knights Templar gets their super trebuchets online.
right, yeah.
Dear audience, Zach has been making me play a lot of Age of Empires with him, and that's what all of these references are to.
Yeah. But yeah, I think as it is, because of the way that the data has been expunged, I don't really know where we can go with this from here. Again, I think we need to read the Gate Guardian next, just to kind of put a bow on all this and see if any of this is referenced again.
Yeah, I do kind of want to like bring up the other ones and just like see how they like.
You're right. I want to see how the couch critters fare against 616.
like how do the couch critters play into something that also involves demonic planes? And how does Cain and Abel fit into this?
Well, you know, Caleb, airline seats are kind of arranged like a couch.
We're going back to JD Vance, huh? Zach, where can people find you?
They can find me over on my blog of Roll for Writing, which is www.makeawritingchick.blogspot.com. They can also buy my ebook, which is available wherever you buy ebooks, Tales for Port Aster. And that's all I'll plug for now.
Blue Sky question mark?
Oh, yeah, you can also find me over at Blue Sky, Roll for Writing at Blue Sky. Look for the fucking dice.
There you go. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Calica1738. You can also find me on my YouTube channel at Calica, where I do all sorts of content. Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. I run another show called The Friendly Fire Show with my good buddy Braxton, who does our thumbnails. And that comes out once a month. I do like travel vlogs. I do music reviews, all sorts of stuff. Kind of whatever I feel like making. So that is Calica on YouTube, and yeah, that's where you can find me. You can follow the podcast on Twitter at SCPod_cast. You can follow us on Instagram at SCPod.cast. Follow us on Blue Sky at SCPod. We're available on a couple different platforms, including Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and Podcast Addict. And I say this at the end of every episode, but please remember to interact with the video in any way. Like, rate, subscribe, comment, anything like that. Pushes us into the algorithm and lets other people find us, and just gives us a little bit of a boost. You can also support us monetarily on our Patreon, which we just launched not too long ago, and that is patreon.com/scpod. All this stuff's always in the show notes as well. We don't have a lot of extra time to make extra things for the Patreon, but if you feel like just putting in a little extra to help us just make the podcast a little bit better, all money that we get from the Patreon goes right back into the podcast. So, yeah. Zach, what are we covering next week?
Next week we are talking about a 001 proposal.
Oh, it's the one.
It's the one.
Okay. Well, look forward to that, and hold on to your butts. It's hopefully going to get even crazier than demonic planes.
And calculators.
Yeah. Zach, what do you got for in-flight entertainment this time?
Meet the Director, the Disney Golden Age as imagined by a psychotic meat witch.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.